In the small, forgotten town of Ravenshroud, there was an abandoned mansion at the edge of the woods. Locals spoke of it only in hushed tones, warning of the darkness that dwelled within. It was said that the mansion was haunted by the spirits of a family who met a tragic end many years ago. A group of friends, daring and curious, decided to spend a night inside the mansion, seeking thrills and excitement. The air was thick with an eerie stillness as they stepped over the creaking threshold. The once grand entrance hall echoed with the sounds of their nervous laughter. As the night unfolded, strange things began to happen. Unseen hands seemed to brush against them in the darkness, and chilling whispers echoed through the empty corridors. The group dismissed these occurrences as mere figments of their imagination, attributing the unsettling atmosphere to the old, decaying structure. As the clock struck midnight, the group gathered in the dilapidated dining room, their flashlights flickering in the shadows. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind slammed the door shut, trapping them inside. Panic set in as they realized the door wouldn't budge. In the dim light, they heard faint footsteps echoing through the mansion. Whispers grew louder, weaving tales of despair and tragedy. The friends, now paralyzed with fear, felt an unseen force tugging at their sanity. One by one, the group members started disappearing. Shadows danced on the walls, and desperate pleas for help echoed through the haunted mansion. The survivors frantically searched for an escape, but the layout of the mansion seemed to twist and turn, trapping them in an endless maze of despair. In the heart of the mansion, they discovered a forgotten room adorned with tattered wallpaper and a decaying crib. In the eerie silence, a ghostly figure materialized, a child specter, weeping softly. The friends realized a tragic truth. The spirits of the family that once inhabited the mansion were cursed to linger, forever mourning the loss of their child. As the clock struck 3 a.m., the remaining friends were enveloped in darkness. The mansion seemed to come alive with anguished wails and malevolent laughter. The friends' faces twisted in terror as they too became part of the mansion's cursed history. The following morning, locals found the mansion standing silent once again. The whispers had subsided, and the shadows lay still. Ravenshroud resumed its quiet existence, with only the eerie legend of the mansion left behind as a warning to those who dared to awaken the sleeping horrors within. In the sleepy town of Hollowbrook, there was an antique shop tucked away on the outskirts. The shopkeeper, an old man with a weathered face, possessed a peculiar item that caught the eye of anyone who ventured in: an ornate, full-length mirror with an air of mystery surrounding it. Legend had it that the mirror was cursed, its origins traced back to a haunted estate abandoned decades ago. Those who gazed into its depths reported seeing unsettling visions and hearing chilling whispers. Skeptics dismissed the tales as mere superstition, but the mirror's dark allure persisted. A young couple, Sarah and Jake, recently moved to Hollowbrook, seeking a fresh start. Intrigued by the town's stories, they stumbled upon the antique shop and couldn't resist the temptation to purchase the mysterious mirror. Once the mirror was hung in their bedroom, strange occurrences began to unfold. Late at night, Sarah would wake to whispers that seemed to emanate from the mirror. In a trance-like state, she found herself standing in front of it, staring into the depths with vacant eyes. As the days passed, Sarah's behavior became increasingly erratic. She spoke of a shadowy figure that beckoned to her from within the mirror, luring her into a world beyond. Jake, worried for his wife's sanity, tried to convince her to get rid of the cursed mirror, but Sarah insisted it held a key to a forbidden truth. One fateful night, as a storm raged outside, Sarah stood before the mirror, her eyes reflecting an otherworldly madness. The whispers grew louder, and the room filled with an ominous energy. Suddenly, the mirror's surface rippled like disturbed water, and a ghastly hand reached out, pulling Sarah into its dark depths. Terrified, Jake watched in horror as the mirror swallowed his wife. The room fell silent, the storm outside subsiding as if nature itself recoiled from the malevolence within. The once beautiful mirror now radiated an evil presence. Desperate to save Sarah, Jake sought the help of a local paranormal expert. Together, they performed a ritual to banish the curse. The mirror shook violently, emitting blood-curdling screams that echoed through the house. The atmosphere became suffocating as the room filled with shadows, fighting against a cleansing light. In the final, harrowing moments, the mirror shattered into 1,000 shards, releasing Sarah from its grasp. Hollowbrook returned to its quiet slumber, but the legend endured. The antique shop was abandoned, the mirror's fragments buried in the town cemetery under a full moon. Years later, A curious traveler stumbled upon the forgotten shards. Unaware of the curse, they gazed into the reflective pieces, and the whispers began anew, leaving the town of Hollowbrook haunted by the malevolent spirits trapped within the fragments of the accursed mirror. In the heart of a decaying city, there stood an abandoned asylum, its walls echoing with the tormented whispers of the past. Legend had it that the asylum was a place of unspeakable horrors, where the mentally ill were subjected to cruel experiments. The building had long been condemned, but its ominous presence loomed over the city like a ghostly specter. One night, a group of thrill-seekers decided to explore the asylum, eager to test their courage and document the eerie atmosphere for an online audience. Among them was Emily, a skeptical journalist who believed in facts over fables. As they ventured deeper into the asylum, the air grew colder, and the sound of footsteps echoed in the desolate hallways. The group reached the infamous Silent Room, a chamber where patients were said to be isolated from the world, driven to madness by the oppressive silence. The door to the Silent Room creaked open, revealing an unsettling darkness within. Reluctantly, the group entered, their flashlights flickering in the inky blackness. The air became suffocating, and an inexplicable sense of dread settled over them. As Emily cautiously approached the center of the room, she felt an unseen force tugging at her consciousness. Whispers, too faint to discern, surrounded her, like the anguished murmurs of the forgotten souls trapped within the asylum's walls. She dismissed it as her imagination playing tricks. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them, sealing them inside the Silent Room. Panic set in as the group desperately tried to reopen the door, but it remained steadfastly closed. The oppressive silence intensified, and the whispers grew louder, echoing through the chamber. One by one, the flashlights flickered and died, plunging the room into absolute darkness. Emily's heart pounded as an icy hand brushed against her shoulder. Paralyzed with fear, she strained to see through the impenetrable blackness. A dim, ghostly light flickered in the center of the room, revealing the spectral forms of the asylum's former inhabitants. Their hollow eyes bore into the intruders, and a guttural moan filled the air. Emily felt an unseen presence encircle her, and the whispers transformed into tortured screams. In the final moments of the harrowing ordeal, the group's screams merged with those of the tormented spirits. As the first light of dawn broke through the shattered windows, the Silent Room stood empty once again. The asylum, now forever tainted by the trespassers, faded back into obscurity. The legend of the Silent Room persisted, a cautionary tale whispered among those who dared to explore the darkness that lurked within the decaying walls of the forsaken asylum.